بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. السلام عليكم my beloved ones ورحمة الله وبركاته. We were discussing the ruling about entering the state of Ihram from the miqat. So we were discussing the ruling of miqat. So we said that somebody misses the miqat intentionally, and other might miss the miqat out of forgetfulness, out of out of being unconscious, out of the excuse. That means someone misses the miqat due to an excuse. Someone misses the miqat intentionally, knowingly, deliberately. So rule number 168 we discussed yesterday mentioned four scenarios for those people who miss the miqat deliberately and knowingly. We said in those cases, the Umrah is invalid. The Umrah would be invalid. Two cases we mentioned, the Umrah would be invalid. And then we started discussing about the cases in which the Umrah, the Ihram was done out of forgetfulness, out of being unconscious, and so on, or out of ignorance, unawareness of the place of miqat. He knows the ruling that he has to enter the state of Ihram from miqat, but he did not know that he had passed the miqat. Or no, he knows this is a miqat, but he does not know, he's not aware that it is obligatory upon him to enter the state of Ihram from the miqat. So in this case, we have four scenarios. Three of these scenarios we discussed yesterday. Let's try to review those three, and then we take the fourth one. So in ruling number 169, the first scenario is, and obviously this does not include the ruling of Masjid al-Shajara. Whoever passes Masjid al-Shajara, the miqat of people of Medina, and arrives Juhfa, that is an exceptional case. That is intentionally will be considered sinner, but his ihram from Juhfa will be valid. Unintentionally, his ihram from Juhfa will be valid. In both cases, ihram from Juhfa will be valid. However, the sin, he will be considered sinner if he had missed the ihram from Masjid al-Shajar intentionally, and he will not be considered a sinner if he had missed the ihram from Masjid al-Shajara unintentionally. So the first scenario, أن يتمكن الصورة الأولى أن يتمكن من الرجوع إلى الميقات فيجب عليه الرجوع والإحرام من هناك. In the first scenario, he is able to go back to or return to the miqat. In this case, it is obligatory upon him to go back to the miqat and enter the state of ihram from there. So that's number one. You can go back, you must go back. Surah Thaniya, the second scenario. He entered the haram. ولم يمكنه الرجوع إلى الميقات لكن أمكنه الرجوع إلى خارج الحرم وعليه حينئذ الرجوع إلى الخارج والإحرام منه. In such case, he's in haram. He entered the border of Makkah, the sacred area of Makkah, the sacred vicinity area of Makkah, okay, around Makkah. So that is considered the sacred place, haram. And out of that is hell. Hell is where you don't have to be in the state of ihram. But haram, when you enter haram, before entering, you have to be in the state of ihram. So he says that أن يكون في الحرم ولم يمكنه الرجوع إلى الميقات. He is in haram now, he is not unable to go back to the miqat. However, he was able to go out of the haram. Then in this case, وَعَلَيْهِ حِينَئِذٍ الرُّجُوعِ إِلَى, so in this case, it will be obligatory upon him to go out of the haram, exit the haram area and enter the state of ihram from out of the haram and come back in. And in this case, some of the maraja, they say you go as far as you can. Sayyid Sistani Dz says, no, you don't have to go. Just you exit the haram, khalas. You can enter the state of haram. He says it's preferred, it's recommended precaution that you go as far as you can, but you don't have to. You exited, you came to the border, you can enter the haram back without any need to go as far as you can. Other maraja, they require such, some other maraja. The third scenario, أن يكون في الحرم, he's inside haram, he cannot exit the haram due to the sickness, due he became sick, or due to the border control, check control, those who enter haram, there's a check post or something like that. So he was not able to exit the haram area. In this case, wherever he is, should enter the state of ihram, even if he had entered Makkah. في هذه الصورة أن يحرم من مكانه وإن كان قد دخل مكة, even though if he had entered Makkah. The fourth scenario, he is out of haram, he was not able to go back to the miqat. Then in this case, it's obligatory precaution for him to go as far as he can away from the place he is, because he's already out of the haram. So where will we go? Go as far as you can. At least go away from that spot which you on which you realized. So in this case, we let me just see if I can bring some map so that we can just try to understand these scenarios on the map. Let me see. No, this is not this one. Yeah, it is this one. Okay, so here we have map of Makkah. So we said a person entered the haram. So let's say the miqat is all the way in Juhfa, north of Makkah, or let's say a parallel point southeast of Jeddah. So he has to go back to the miqat or to the parallel point of the miqat. Because according to Sayyid Sistani, parallel point is considered a miqat as well. So in this case, you have to go in a place where it is permissible for you to enter the state of ihram. If you say, what about nadhar? No, nadhar is before. Remember, entering the state of ihram via vow is before the miqat, not after the miqat. Many times people, they ask, oh, if I'm in Jeddah and, well, this is for Sayyid Sistani, it's okay. But Sayyid al-Khoi followers, if I'm in Jeddah, can I enter the state of ihram via nadhar? No, because you have already passed the miqat for the follower of Sayyid al-Khoi. So therefore, let's take the fourth scenario. He was, as we mentioned, that he was out of the haram, correct? The first scenario was أن يتمكن من الرجوع إلى الميقات. He's able to go to the miqat. So he has to go to the miqat. Okay? Where Juhfa, parallel point, or before miqat, like Jeddah, if the case was to do the ihram with nadhar. So he has to go back to the miqat or parallel point or behind the parallel point like Jeddah. And then if Jeddah, then he has to enter the state of Ihram with Nadhr. So this is one scenario. He can go back, then go back. The other scenario was no, he cannot go back. أن يكون في الحرم ولم يمكنه الرجوع للميقات. However, he is able to go out of the haram. So you see this red dotted line? This is the border of Makkah, which is called al haram. This is Kaaba here. Okay. The clock tower. Why can't we see Kaaba? Why do we see clock tower? Anyhow, so the clock tower is the location of Kaaba. So this is Kaaba. But this all area you can see out. This is the Ju'rana is somewhere here where the Prophet ﷺ was coming from Hunain and he did the ihram from Ju'rana. He didn't go back to the miqat. Okay? Ta'if, Qarn al-Manazil. He just came to Ju'rana and then entered Makkah. So Ju'rana is somewhere here after Arafat or around this area. So now he's in Haram. He arrived in Haram from Jeddah by car or by this way. Oh my goodness. We entered the Haram and I'm not in the state of Ihram. Forgetfulness, unknowingly, unawareness. People they say, you are not still in the Ihram? Yeah, why? We have entered the Haram. You should be in the state of Ihram. Yeah, so what's the ruling? Go back to the miqat. I can't go back to the miqat. I can't go back alone. I get lost, all the other circumstances. I can't go back. And first time, and this new for me. And there's Hajj, it's like a complicated situation there. So everything is done by the caravan, group leader, group. Okay, so we will tell him, okay, at least take a taxi, okay, and get out of the Haram area. This is Haram, exit Haram, enter the state of Ihram and come back. He can go to these miqats, which this Tan'im is now part of Makkah. And here, Sayyidi Sistani has some reservations. But you can go anywhere out of Makkah, come back here, out of the Haram. Go out of Haram, come back here. Some ulamas, they said, go as much as far you can. Okay? And then come back. Sayyidi Sistani says, no, you came here out, you can enter immediately. You don't have to go far away, as far as you can. Like, for example, he entered from this Jeddah route or Juhfa route. So just go back out and come back in. You came from here, Jeddah, this is Jeddah highway, or this is Jeddah highway. Go back here and come back in. Some ulama said, no, go as far as you can. If you cannot reach the miqat. If you can reach the miqat, then go to the miqat. But if you cannot, then go as far as you can and come back. So these are the few things. So number one was what? Number one was go to the miqat. Go back to the miqat. Juhfa or parallel point close to Jeddah. Or in Jeddah and do the ihram with nadhr, with vow. That was scenario number one. Scenario number two, no. He entered Makkah, but cannot go back to the miqat. No problem. Go out and come back in. Enter the state of ihram here, out. Even on this border point, if it is accurate, you can just come to the border, enter the state of ihram and come back in. And see this route, they have these highways. The taxi driver can take you anywhere where there is border of Makkah. Go there and come back in the state of ihram. So this was scenario number two, that he cannot go back to the miqat. However, he can go back. Third scenario is no. The third scenario was that he is in Makkah, but he cannot go out. He can, like, let's say he's in Makkah now. Maybe he reached all the way here to his hotel or to his, and it's difficult for him to even go out and come back. Okay, then it is said that Sayyidi Sistani says that khalas, you are in Makkah, enter the state of ihram in Makkah inside. If you cannot go out, then just get your ihram from inside Makkah. So this was the third scenario. He cannot go out of haram. Okay, maybe he's a she, and it's difficult for her to go out of the haram. And there are others, they cannot take her, or circumstances, or a lot of things happen in the days of Hajj. So this was the third scenario. The fourth scenario which we took is he was out of the haram. He was, let's just do some wiping here. Okay. Okay. So he was out of the haram, not in the haram. The first, second, third scenario, we said he entered the haram. Okay. This person is out of the haram. Like they passed the miqat. Okay. So he's in somewhere here in this area or this area. He's already out of the haram. We cannot tell him exit the haram and come back. Baba, I'm already out of the haram. How? So this does not apply upon me to get out of the haram and come back in. So in this case, what will we do? We will say that go as far as you can in your capacity. Like obviously in taxi or in affordable means, obviously you can means it's affordable. It's not way expensive. Maybe the taxi guy will charge a fortune. You know, the Hajj is business season nowadays. People, many of them, they have lost their morality of Hajj. So it has become a method of business. So what will happen here? The guy is here. They have not entered Haram. Or where is Jeddah Highway? Okay, this is Jeddah Highway, or this is Jeddah Highway. They have not entered the Haram. So we will say, go back as much as you can in your capacity. Enter the state of Ihram and then come back. Enter the state of Ihram and then come back. Enter the state of Ihram and then come back. You see? So these are the four scenarios. Scenario number one, we said he can go to the miqat. Then go to the miqat. Scenario number two, he is in haram. He can go out of the haram, but not miqat. Then get out of haram and enter the state of haram and come back. Scenario number three, he can't go out of the haram. He's stuck inside. So, okay, then enter the state of ihram from your wherever you are. Okay, in haram. Number four, he's out of the haram. He's not entered the haram, and he realizes. Then go to the miqat, can't. Then go as far as you can, enter the state of ihram there, and come back to the haram. So these are the four scenarios, as you can see, that if somebody, and don't be surprised, because most of the time, people, they don't follow the rules of the Hajj, okay? Most of the time, I mean, we see people, they go Hajj as a picnic, or as they think that they're Ayatullahs and they know the ahkam of Hajj. Here, in hometown, we tell them, come to the lessons of Manasik al-Hajj. Oh, I'm busy, I'm this, I'm that. Okay, then there we are going to have sessions of manasik al-hajj. We'll attend there in Medina. We go to Medina. Where are Haji Fulan? Where are Fulan Fulan? Where are this Fulan, that Fulan? Well, they have gone haram. They have gone shopping. The shopping is most important than everything for many. Baba, what about your Umrah mutamattu'? What about your Hajj? Inshallah, Allah Kareem, Allah Malik. So then they make mistakes. Why? Because they did not attend the sessions of Manasik al-Hajj. If you can't attend the sessions of Manasik al-Hajj, don't go for Hajj. If you can't come to learn the wajibat, don't forget mustahabbat, forget recommendation. If you can't attend the sessions of obligations of Manasik al-Hajj, then don't go for Hajj. Why are you going for Hajj? To waste your money, waste your time, and you'll come back and you'll have to then enter the state of Ihram like Dalai Lama, Muslim Dalai Lama, wearing two Ihram, and then you have to go to the work and university and school. Oh no, how can I go there? Then why didn't you learn the Manasik? So you are stuck in the Ihram. Your Umrah was not correct. Your Hajj was not correct, but you are still in the Ihram. So what should he do? That's the problem. So therefore, it is very important that people, they come and learn the manasik al-hajj. Okay, let's take the next ruling. Ruling number one. Yes, by the way, so we did not go through the ruling number 169, fourth scenario. Let's take the words of Sayyid Sistani Dz. The fourth scenario, an yakuna kharij al-haram. He was out of the haram. وَلَمْ يُمْكِنْهُ الرُّجُوعِ إِلَى الْمِيقَاتِ. He cannot go back to the miqat. Then on the basis of obligatory precaution, وَالْأَحْوَطُ وُجُوبًا لَهُ في هذه الصورة أن يرجع بالمقدار الممكن. To come back to go back as much as you can in the way of you to the miqat. As much as you can. And then enter the state of ihram from that point. You don't have to reach the miqat. But then Sayyid Sistani says in this istifta that this in appendix of fatwas, that this ruling about the validity of the ihram of someone who did not enter the state of ihram from miqat in these four scenarios due to the forgetfulness, due to the unconsciousness, due to the unawareness, his umrah will be valid, his ihram will be valid. This is for umrah to tamattu', not any umrah. But why? He says because there are narrations indicating that this umrah which Imam gave these four exceptional cases and exemptional cases, it is restricted and limited to what? To the umrah of Hajj, where the time is narrowed, time is limited, and there are so many complications of returning to the miqat, going to the miqat, the police control checkpost, this and that, and even the crowd, and people might get lost. A lot of things happen. It's not easy for someone to just go take a taxi and just go to the miqat, back again and come. So that's why this was out of unawareness. We said if it was intentionally, deliberately, knowingly, kiss your umrah and hajj goodbye. But this was not done intentional, unintentional. So in this case, what happens? Sayyid Sistani Dz says that there are four scenarios. Follow whatever applies upon you, and your ihram will be correct. Which ihram? Umrah al-Mufrada, no, Umrah al-Tamattu'. So what about Umrah al-Mufrada? He says Umrah al-Mufrada, that the narration, it is not understood from the narration that it is inclusive to Umrah Mufrada. It is restricted to Umrah Tamattu' due to the wordings of the Imam, which he has mentioned Hajj associated with it. So therefore, based on that, the Umrah, the Umrah for Umrah Mufrada, the individual Umrah, if somebody goes through these kind of scenarios unintentionally, unknowingly, unconscious, then on the basis of obligatory precaution, he can repeat the Umrah. Why didn't I say he should repeat the Umrah? Because it's not wajib. Unless if it was obligatory Umrah by via nether, via vow or oath or covenant, then yes, it is obligatory upon him to repeat the Umrah Mufrada. Otherwise, Umrah Mufrada is not obligatory. It's recommended, unless if it was nether, if it became accidentally obligatory. So, والأحوط وجوبا, it is obligatory precaution in this scenario that a person should, in this case, he has to repeat his Umrah. If it was wajib, if it was not wajib, he doesn't have to repeat his Umrah because his Ihram is invalid. Whatever he did was invalid. So he's even not stuck in the Ihram. Inshallah, Allah will give him thawab, reward on his intention, but it will not be considered. Hence, if it was obligatory, he had not fulfilled his obligation of fulfilling the vow if he had made vow on Umrah, to do Umrah. So that was an observation. In all these cases, the four cases, other than Umrah al-Mufrada, the four cases we mentioned, out of unawareness, unintentional, unconsciousness. In all these four cases, ففي جميع هذه الصور يحكم بصحة عمل المكلف. The action of the responsible person will be considered correct إذا قام بما ذكرنا, if he applies whatever we have mentioned from the responsibilities من الوظائف. وفي حكم تارك الإحرام من أحرم قبل الميقات. So the same rulings apply, be it intentional scenarios, two scenarios, or unintentional scenarios. Those people who entered the state of Ihram before the miqat. We said this person passed the miqat. At the end, he says, these rules are applied because even before the miqat, without nether, your ihram is invalid. That means you are not muhrim. Then these rulings apply. Was it intentional or unintentional? Deliberate, undeliberate. Knowingly, unknowingly. تارك الإحرام, وفي حكم تارك الإحرام, and the ruling of the one who has not done ihram, من أحرم, not done ihram in miqat, and he passed the miqat, applies to person who has entered the state of ihram before the miqat, without vow, without nether, or even after it, even if it was out of ignorance, and it was, even if it was out of ignorance and out of forgetfulness. So this was for all for today. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين. والسلام عليكم